Good morning, my friends. I'm your host, Mitch Carl. This is the Golden Mike Minute. We're going to look back at last night's MLB DFS data, see if we can study a little bit and find ways to emulate success. Let's get after it right here, right now. All right, so the winner last night in the $100,000 to first place MLB relay throw on DRAFTKINGs had two lineups. They made two lineups, two cashed, profited $100K. Unbelievable 228-point score. The highest finishing 150 maxer finished in fourth place with a profit of $3,800. We're going to take a peek at both of their exposures, their player pools, stack sizes, compare it to the field itself. First off, we'll look at the 150 maxer, finished in fourth place with just under $4,000 profit. Did not fade any of the top 20 owned players and was actually kind of on par with their ownership. Dylan Cease was the highest owned pitcher last night, 51.3%. used in this tournament. He had him at 59%. Garrett Cole was the next highest at 34.8%. He had him at 47%, and so on and so forth. There's no fade here. Literally just wherever the ownership went, he went with it. He didn't really go high or low on many players in the top 20. He started making some stands as the player pool went, and we'll go ahead and look at that via his stacks first. All right, so out of his 150 lineups, 135 of them included a 5-player stack, went with tons of correlation. Then he had 2-player stacks on the other side, 90 out of the 150, so 60% of the time. 3-player stacks 45 times, 4-player stacks 30 times. And when we look at the stack combos, the highest used combination was that 5-2 stack. Kind of alluded to that in the beginning when I said that he had 92 player stacks. Well, that's what we ended up with, a 5-2 stack 90 times. So 60% of all of his lineups were 5-2s. 45 more entries, so that's 135 out of his 150, had 5-3 stacks. So he had a 5-player stack in 135 and then had 2s and 3s with those, no naked 5s. And then he had 15 4x4 stacks where you had 2 teams with 4 players each. Like the Cardinals had 4 and the Toronto Blue Jays had 4 batters, both in the same lineup, and that was his highest used 4 times. His winning lineup had Chris Bassett at 13% ownership, scored 33 points. Tyler Mahle, 8.9%, had 47.45 points. And then he had a 5-player Atlanta Braves stack, and they did very well with Travis Arnaud, Matt Olson, Marcell Ozuna, Orlando Arcia, and Michael Harris. A 2-player Cleveland Guardians stack, Jose Ramirez and Ahmed Rosario, both higher owned players, both did well. And then a one-off with Jake Cronenworth for the Padres, who ended up with 19 points against the Cubbies. So the lineup did great, absolutely fantastic. He left $1,100 on the table. That means his roster used $48,900 out of the $50,000 salary cap, and he took 4th place. Now let's look at the winner. The winner had very different approach in his 2 lineups. He went with a 3-player Boston stack with a 3-player Cardinal stack and a 2-player Blue Jay stack. That's a 3-3-2 approach in his lineup build. His second lineup that he had made also cashed, had a 3-2-2 stack. So he went mini correlation. And then when you look at the pitchers, well, he had the same 2. It was Bassett and Mahle in his winning lineup. 3-player Cardinal stack with Goldschmidt, Brendan Donovan, Tommy Edman, all from the Cardinals. Goldschmidt, of course, went absolutely bonkers yesterday. Hit 2 more home runs after he had hit 1 on the 13th. He's got 3 home runs in the last 2 days. Just absolutely on fire. And then his 3-player stack for Boston, very good. Devers, Martinez, and Robert Restinier. And Martinez and Devers both went yard. His 2-player stack was George Springer and Gabriel Moreno for the Blue Jays. It was an 8-1 wraparound stack, meaning there was no 9th hitter included. He had 1 gap in between those 2 hitters. The stacks for the Cardinals and Boston, there was no gap. It was just the first leadoff hitter, the second hitter, and the third hitter for both teams. So he went 1 through 3 in the lineups. Very interesting approach there. And he had very small stack combinations, 2 totally different approaches to get the same very good top 5 finish. But we were 1 point away in difference, and that was the difference of $95,000 in profit. Just absolutely crazy. As far as the tournament itself, the highest combination stack was used 5,000 times, so a little over 22% of the time. We had 5-2 combination, about 22% of all lineups in last night's tournaments. And then the next highest use, well, that was an interesting one, as we ended up finishing with a 5-3 stack combination about 18% of the time at 4,500 lineups. So we did have some combination of a 5-2 or 5-3 in the 40% of the entire tournament. And then the other 60% of the tournament was made up of different variations: naked 5s, 4-3s, 4-4s, 3-3-2, 3-2-2s, blah, 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 blah. It continues on. What's the takeaway today? I'm not sure we have something glaringly obvious, but I think what we can do is continue to realize that you can be different in these tournaments. These small stacks continue to find ways to get inside the top 5. We've actually had, I believe, 4 of our 6 shows have winners that did not have 5-player stacks. We do see 5-player stacks in the top 10 more often than not, but maybe being just slightly different in your approach allows you to surpass those top 10 lineups and finish as the top winning lineup for the most money. And if you're playing these top heavy tournaments, you better be swinging for the fences. The takeaway for me personally is just be loose and flexible with your lineup building. Don't feel like you have to fit in the same construct you've used for years of forcing in some type of 5-player stack. If when you're building your lineups, if you're looking at your model, if you're looking at the Team Rise or Fall models, and you're deciding you want to put together some 3-2-2s, don't sit there and think to yourself, well, I need to use the highest combination, the highest probability, because that just means that's the most probable and the most frequent way to win, but it doesn't mean it's the only way to win. Be loose, be flexible, and go ahead and hopefully keep studying, because the real answers are always looking backwards. You got to look back, figure out what has happened so that you can adjust going forwards. Wish you the best of luck today. I hope this was a helpful stream. Leave a 5-star rating on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. If you could do me the hugest favor on YouTube, drop a like down below, share it with your friends, leave a comment if you want to give some feedback. And I wish you the best. I'll see you on the inside, my friends. Have a great day.